apparently we're having technical difficulties.
Okay, now we're done. Give me 3 seconds to hit the button.
No, you can't hit the button.
Too many seconds.
Hit the button, Max.
Are you ready? It's on?
It's on.
Okay.
This is a part of it now.
Ourselves and talking a bit about maybe how you got into this and what you do.
I am Kyle Pritchard. I'm on Earthdawn development team. I started with the Legends of Barsave stuff and have moved on from there. One of the writers on Elven Nations. I've been playing Earthdawn since first edition when my dad was like, hey, this book's real cool. And then I was like, I can't exactly read all these things. And he's like, it's fine.
Because, I was only like 3 when it came out.
I think I was 7.
That's when my kids started.
Wait. You were 7 when you read it.
The words in Earthdawn are weird. I still can't read all of them.
I should make up after that.
That's true, she does.
I'm Michael Allegro. I'm also on the Earthdawn development team. I also started through the Legends of Barsave living campaign setting. Our brainchild and another one of our friends, we wrote that. And then we also write on Elven Nations. And what else?
More things to come that
I'm not allowed to talk about.
My job is to shush them when they talk about things they're not allowed to.
Okay, good. That's your job.
That is my job.
I played...
Missing is
Carl.
Carl's our third, yes.
It's spelled Polish.
Write things and say, where the freak were you, Carl?
He's working for us right now.
He's running a game.
He's running Earthdawn.
Just to do this. #Earthdawn. Where the freak are you, Carl? Trust me, it's great.
And so I've played Earthdawn since a friend of ours ended our Shadowrun campaign by shooting one of the other player characters in the face. And then
I said, how about I run Earthdawn? Because then you won't get shot in the face, probably.
Well,
A fireball.
And the rest is history. And that young man was Albert Einstein.
Tiffany Ragland. I've been playing Earthdawn since the original 3-flyer demo came out in 93. We've been playing Battletech and Shadowrun up to that point, and Earthdawn came out, and we were like, this is it. We're done. No more looking. This is our game. Not true for my husband anymore because he's now the line developer for 1879. But Earthdawn is still my first love. And I started working with Red Brick when Classic came out and did some editing on the Player's Compendium. And then when we were told that FASA was taking Earthdawn back and coming back to life from the grave mysteriously.
It's never dead.
It was never dead.
Never dead.
It was a cruel trick. But Andrew and I were asked to come on board. And I've been head of editorial since that was 2013. And started last year on the Earthdawn team. I edit the Legends of Barsave books and am going to be working on developing a book in the future. Am I allowed to say what it is? Nope. Can't tell you. Secret.
TBD.
But it will be soon.
Great and glorious.
I'm Morgan Weeks. I've been playing.
Great and glorious part.
That is not, because it is not factual. It's not factual.
Totally, absolutely. I would never lie to any of you.
That's the start of a lie. You can tell she's lying when her mouth is open.
Oh, shots fired!
We all really love each other.
I started back in '93 with the initial release as well, and got noticed by writing a blog about Earthdawn, and then Josh brought me on to the 4E development team, and I have done the mechanics design since then.
And I'm Josh Harrison. This is all my fault. Like Tiffany and Morgan, I came to Earthdawn back in '93, bought the first edition core book at a local mall the Christmas after it was released, and very quickly fell in love and was a pretty like regular frequent visitor to certain online forums back in the 90s, and then did some playtesting and consulting with Living Room Games for 2nd edition, and some writing and editing and consulting with Red Brick for the classic, and a little bit less on the 3rd edition because I was having kids at that time. And then
Wait, do you have babies?
They're not babies anymore.
No, I saw them yesterday. They're definitely not.
My daughter, who is now 12, and played her first Earthdawn game yesterday as an archer, and did really well and wants to play more. So I guess I'm doing something right. So, you know, basically when my life started settling down, I kind of got invited back in to take over, and I was the one that sort of decided to do the 4th edition and oversaw the grander schemes of the changes involved, and brought Morgan on during that process to kind of help out because it's a hell of a lot of work.
Hi, I am Rusty Zimmerman. Most of my writer credits are Russell Zimmerman, so they don't think I'm just like the company dog. Whatever company I work for.
Oh, wait, that's an option?
You're
totally thinking company dog.
Every company should have one.
Where's that?
Yeah, so I'm Russell or Rusty Zimmerman. Yeah.
Oh, right.
I started playing Earthdawn not because my dad bought the box or anything, but because my then undergrad roommate who hurried across town with me, Jason did. I had never heard of it, and he showed up in the dorm room that I was sleeping on the floor at for a while with a stack of books a couple feet tall, which at the time he had like everything. And we're like, sure, we'll play whatever. We're undergrads. That's what you're supposed to do, experiment, right? And we got into a bunch of Earthdawn stuff and played it for a while. We actually got in a GenCon tournament at one point toward the tail end of that first flirtation with the setting. Drifted away into Shadowrun for a good long time, where I've written a bunch of stuff, novels and sort of books and ebooks and all, a bunch of other companies and all that. And then one Wednesday night, it was 3 years ago, here in GenCon, hanging out in a hotel lobby, having a couple drinks, waiting as friends trickle in and we all say hi. And Josh and I sat and chatted for about 30 minutes before one of us was bold enough to glance at the cleavage of the other and realize who we were talking to, and realized that we had known each other on forum for a while, and we both had planned to hunt the other down and have a conversation about me working on some Earthdawn. So that's how I got my start on the Earthdawn front. I slapped a chapter in Festonius' name into the Quester's book. I've got 3 chunks in the recently kickstarted super detailed math stuff. There's too many weird names.
Journey Mystic Path.
There we go. The Journey Mystic Path. I care about my chapter, not the whole.
So Rusty doesn't play well with everyone, apparently.
Yeah, it's day 3 or 4 of GenCon, depending on when you start counting, so no. Can I say the other big thing? Okay. Oh, wait.
We'll get
that
to
one, oh, that we'll get to.
Yeah.
That's more.
All right. More to come, TM.
I'm Andi. Technically, I'm part of the team. I'm the project manager at FASA, which means I don't do anything useful that anybody knows about. Pretty much it.
She just bosses us around.
Another lie.
I can boss you around, that's true. That's true. But hey, you might notice that books come out. It turns out it works. Yay! She with the pointy stick. Alright, so the very first thing I thought we would do after letting everyone introduce themselves is we would let you guys maybe ask a few questions that may or may not have to be shushed. So, anybody feeling brave enough to ask a question? Yes, sir?
You coming out with a miniature line? You used to have one in the first version.
The miniatures were originally done by Heartbreaker. The molds for those ended up with Impact, I think is the name of the company that ended up owning those, and they actually are doing plastic versions of those now. It's not something that we've really looked into, to be honest, in terms of like having, yeah, I mean, it's potentially a possibility in the future, but things have been so like crazy with the 4th Ed Kickstarter and everything else. Just getting things back on track and releasing books is
goal one was getting the initial Kickstarter completed and finished and out to everyone like it should be. Goal 2 is let's get forward momentum. Goal 3 is now let's go 4. So it is not necessarily off the table, but it is not on the table directly at the moment. Fair?
Kids table.
Yes.
Historically, there was a mailing publication or journal that would come out. Would that be something that would resurface with this non-dead resurrection?
Do you want my answer on that one? My answer is when the team gets everything in enough forward motion that could be possibly brained and done in a time frame that would be workable. That's not necessarily a no, but right now I don't feel like the team can handle that on top of stuff.
It's just have some subscription postcards that you can fill it out and say, give me some more.
Hey, we always take things from fans. I mean, we love fans. Fans are nice to us, and we love that. But so if a fan wanted to run some things and be like, hey, here's some fan stuff, I'm not saying no to it. But right now, as far as them, we're still working on getting a lot of things smoothed out in processes forward. So again, it turns actually it's not a no, but we're still barreling ahead before we can kind of.
Let's make sure we stay on this little last stretch of road before we go trying to.
Yeah.
And in fact, Earthdawn Journal was an officially licensed product, but it was a fan who put it out.
Yeah, I kind of felt hired
Yes.
The logo was a good thing.
Yep.
Felt like it was endorsed or fan driven. So my interpretation was.
Yes, which again goes back to and I've said this occasionally and I say it again, we have the best fans of any group ever. The Earthdawn fans are the best fandom I've ever met in my life, and I have been a geek for a very long time. Very old, even if I don't look at Sundays. And I mean, if the fans started saying, hey, this is something we want, look at what we're trying to put together, I'm not saying don't bring it to Medora. I'm saying totally let me see, let's look at it, let's talk. And that goes for pretty much anything.
Yeah. So the stuff that we don't have to actually do any work for.
That is not how that starts. Just so you know, that's not. All right. Anybody else have a question? Like how things are done? Anything?
No one cares about the sausage.
Nobody cares.
Just want to eat it.
All right.
So.
Slow series.
Sorry?
Again, going back.
Novels?
Correct.
Hey! Bingo! You asked a question that I will now allow an answer to.
How specific an answer are we looking for?
Medium to small. We can talk in
There is an opening trilogy of novels that I'm working on that is almost exactly halfway done as we speak. By which I mean one book has been turned in, the second book is about halfway done. Overall arcing plot line is done just up here. It's just a matter of getting life to chill for long enough for it to come out here. But yeah, they are definitely in the works. Do one.
I've read the first one. I liked it, obviously. Otherwise, you would still be working on it.
I read the first one also, and you guys are going to like it.
It was like the basic of the first one.
Elevator pitch. The first one.
Back up?
Elevator.
Yeah.
It's small pitch.
Sorry.
An orphaned human girl is raised in the great library of Thrall and works as an assistant to a scribe and archivist whose published work you may have already read. And you are going to be reading her journal as things go awry on the roads. Vague enough?
That's
very good.
And can I talk about the other one that I've been...
How far are we to? Is it a done deal? Is it done?
I got it on this machine right here.
It's live action movie.
Okay. Does anybody remember what was referred to as the Immortals trilogy? Third novel of which was released as a Shadowrun novel, Worlds Without End, by Caroline Spector. First two novels were set in Earthdawn and and the first one, were both released in German, but never saw official publication through FASA. One of them did make it into English later. The second one has not. I have now, on this machine right here, a translation of the German edition of Little Treasures, which was the second book. I have been in communication with Caroline Spector as well, to sort of help get that translation cleaned up. And at some point, no release dates, I am hoping to see that release at least in electronic format, so that the final missing chapter of Anna's story can be shared.
For those of us who don't read German fluently.
So that was the sort of fortunate case of being on Twitter at the right time and seeing somebody talking about having the German version, and somebody who didn't read German saying, "Oh, hey, can I, like, will you translate that for me?" And I was like, "Oh, maybe," and basically talking to people and stuff came together. So the internet's great.
Enough German that I could help.
Well, we got the translation now, so it's just a matter of polishing it. So that is in the pipeline and will be out somewhere at some point. And I'm looking at what we can do to get some of the other previously published novels that we don't yet have in ebook form into ebook. But
that's been a question that some people, because some of them are very hard to find now on the older ones, and getting them at least in.
We've got the original trilogy in ebook. We've got a couple of the others in ebook.
It would be nice. I don't know if everybody has all of you read all of the novels. Would some of you like to read some of the novels?
You should. Some classic.
That turns into the Pope Ross Moore. Got it. But yes. So the short answer is yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a question?
Can I drop just a small thing on the Shadowrun connection front? It's a very small thing.
Know.
It's not spoilerific. It's just the way the Immortal Trilogy pointed out the link from the fourth world to the sixth. There are now more than one of us that are freelancing for both Shadowrun and Earthdawn, and while we're not heavily reintroducing trademarked stuff and all that, the Earthdawn adventuring party that I've mentioned in the novels, some of their items have already shown up as random artifacts as part of a Shadowrun book about old magic stuff. I've gotten permission for Easter egg level stuff, and I am glad because I already wrote it before I asked him. I had not submitted it yet, but I was like, hey, this would be neat, because it was a thing I was helping out last minute. They needed some artifacts in another Word tab. I was doing the novel, and I went, oh, you guys want some artifacts? I can get you some artifacts. So we're going to start just trying to keep that connection alive. For those who like that sort of thing. Yeah, but it's not central, pivotal plot stuff, not introducing huge new connections or things like that, but there are a couple of us now that are freelancing for both, and we have spoken with line developers and gotten permission to just kind of remind people what's still there. So the threads aren't it's complicated.
That is actually horrendously complicated because it's not totally there anymore, because we have 1879 now. So yeah, that is a whole ball of wax. Any other questions? Anything that you guys want to know?
Well, I think I can imagine some of the things they want to know.
Well, they haven't asked, so I don't know if they get to know if nobody asks.
Hey, Andy, what's next?
Would you want to know
thank you, random person in the audience.
You guys don't want to know that, do you? No, you didn't want to know that. Sorry, they didn't.
All right, well, see you guys next year.
Michael, what's the next book after Pass?
Book that I'm working on?
No, what's the next book after Pass? I know you're working on.
I'm not working on the next book. I don't know.
You're not working on it, but you can talk about it.
I'm giving you the chance to introduce it, to be the one who tells everyone.
I'm working on my book. I'm not sure what the other book is.
I think she might be talking about a certain city-state.
Oh, the Iopos book, you mean?
Hey!
Oh my god. Do you still up to the team meetings? Are you there? And then talking about it?
You told me to work on my thing and nothing else.
He's listening to orders.
Yeah, we follow orders.
So just so you know, I actually keep him in a dungeon on the castle I just sit there and say, keep working on the thing. Do it. Why isn't it done yet? And that's why he actually doesn't.
You can't see under the table, but he does have on a ankle monitor.
You've been talking about my stuff for 2 weeks now. Nothing else exists.
I got a shackle with a ball and chain in the hole.
So why don't you? What's going on with that book, Kyle?
Well, I didn't write it or anything, but it's got a lot of cool IOPO stuff, digging into that family, digging into, certain important people who may have shown up in first edition, and coming back to those sort of storylines and setting the stage for, future things to happen, try to get some narrative motion in some of these books, maybe.
That's really good. That's a nice subtle hint. I like that. Good job. Hey, guess what? He was hinting.
Who did write that book?
Oh,
I know the answer.
I know his handle, and I feel like that's unofficial.
Alan
Farr, who wrote the Travar book. That was the first setting book that we put out for 4th edition. So he's working on that, and the manuscript is turned in
mostly
and almost.
There's a couple of chapters and it's amending.
Yeah. So we're again, as we have gotten in the habit, no exact release dates yet.
No.
But it is
just in case.
Yeah,
you may have noticed that there haven't been a lot of release dates until things are like, yes, that's there type of thing. That's because sometimes the release dates were a little willy-nilly, and we don't want you to think that that's how things will be. We try very hard at this point to not give a release date unless we're like, yeah, I know that's happening then. Yeah. So we are trying very hard to be respectful of the trust you've given us, because you guys have been so great. It should be the plan is for it to be out before the end of the year.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That is the plan. I don't want to promise something unless I'm, just in case something happens. So the plan is that you guys should be happily
throwing your money at that Kickstarter.
Cooing at the past football. Yeah. Did any of you guys kickstart the past book? Have you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Somebody are going to put out.
We haven't. No, you told me not to do that until after the show.
So, would you like to see some of the chapter start art? Kickstart backer stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So while we're getting, I will say all of the art is contracted at this point.
It's not quite all delivered.
Sometimes with getting artists to finish stuff in timely fashion, I have found that doesn't always go as quickly and smoothly as I would like.
It's like trying to get writers to finish stuff in a timely fashion.
Why would we do that?
Whole entire thing, so, which is part of the reason that sometimes deadlines were harder than other things to determine. But it is all contracted. I'm trying to get the chapter starts are all in. So we're hoping
to see a little bit of it.
Yeah, I was eager to see it again. You guys got a projector or something. Let's do this.
We are doing some shake-up with art this time. Hopefully you guys like it. Please, you guys, I don't know if we've made this very clear. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from the fans. We want you guys to communicate with us. I can't promise everything is going to be what you want, but we want to know what you guys are thinking, what you're liking and what you're not liking. So let us know. You guys know how to contact us, right? Everybody knows where we're at on Facebook. You guys know Twitter. You know that we have a Discord channel.
Yeah, good Discord.
Discord channel. If you haven't found it, you can, poke somebody, and we will put a link out for you to find us.
We have cards at the booth that have the Discord link on them.
There you go.
Come on, grab one.
FASA Corp is the entire Discord, and then there's Earthdawn channel and channels for the other ones.
For each one. You can always
you can always type the word Earthdawn into Twitter to cast the Summon Josh ritual.
I was going to say
custom searches are a thing.
I am horribly hard to get a hold of. It's Andi at FASAGames.com. If you don't hear from me within 24 to 48 hours, you email me again and say, hey, pay attention. But we do want to hear from you guys. We want to know what you're thinking. We want to know, especially when we do things like changing the art up a little bit. Nothing too extreme at first, right? But we want to hear what you guys think. Other things that are in the pipework. You guys are liking the LOBs, right? Have you read the LOBs, the Legends of Barsae?
Those are the adventures that these guys run here at GenCon and at other conventions.
So So
Howard loves them.
LOB 105 has its first imprint released here at GenCon, so that's at the booth. The four before that, we have copies of all of this.
Yes, all of those, we still got copies of the booth.
And more to come.
there are a lot more to come. There are some options being bantered about at the table with the Legends of Our Saves. We're hoping you guys are enjoying those, and that when the guys complete that storyline, we have some ideas for other storylines. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Speaking of things like other things, you guys have both hinted, and you can't necessarily totally talk about it, but maybe Michael could hint at the book he's working on, because hopefully that will be in a sooner rather than later timeline.
You've just been given a complex word problem.
I'm working on a different merchant place in Barsave. Possibly.
On the button off, if they figure out which one.
Possibly inside of a mountain.
They'll never get it now.
Sold the farm.
You didn't hire Michael for his subtlety.
There are other mountains in Barsave.
Michael, listen for it. Wait.
Yeah, totally.
Yes, absolutely.
Did anyone miss it? No, right. So Michael's less than super secret project.
I don't know why it needs to be a secret.
Well, what if I get mad at you and I hit you with it?
You're always mad.
You're getting a heavier ball on that chain, apparently.
I've been in the dungeon. I want people to know what I've been working on.
Well, what do you guys think? Is that something you guys want to see come out?
Yes.
Yeah. How about Iopos? Iopos is definitely something. Yeah, Iopos has not been announced.
Well, even if they don't want it,
Iopos
I want it
announced,
because
probably Monday or Tuesday, because did you guys pay attention to the hashtag? Trying to get everybody to use the Earthdawn hashtag thing. You guys did finally pass the 100. It just happened to hit about the same time that I was traveling. So we are officially announcing that, but you guys got the announcement first.
yeah, because you're here.
Because you're here.
Like good people.
Play nice with us.
And now we share, well, I was just going to say, and now that you are all here, you are all tainted. We have marked you.
So this is actually a true thing. So are any of you following us on Facebook at all?
One dude in the back.
Have you been following us on Facebook?
So, yeah.
For a while? Or just recently? Who's been following us for a while? Talking about close
I've
to
been
2
with you
years
for a
ago.
while, but because of how Facebook keeps changing things.
So this would have been about 2 years ago near Halloween. Like on Halloween 2 years ago.
The Babcock.
The Babcock, which is, Ross the CEO, who is completely and utterly written up by Morgan as a horror, which means that we are all constructs and you are all tainted now. You're all now. We have
I don't think that's how that works. That's not about physics.
What else?
We should get some rolls on that.
We should get I'm a mean GM too. I'm just saying.
That's true.
I was saving my karma for this role.
Well, you could roll, you just won't make it. So,
Save your karma.
Rolling my dice out.
I think we've been running our demos too nicely. We give everyone all sorts of resistance rolls. I haven't managed to kill anyone all time.
No?
cut off one of their heads and leave it where it lies.
So Howard, who else is Mark 12? He's not over Mark anymore.
That's true.
Well, Michael's is a no. Or is not Michael's. Kyle's is a no. Carl's would have been nice if Carl was here.
Yeah, where is Carl?
I
He's
think that
working.
we
He's
might
playing
actually.
FASA
You know what?
Games.
You guys want to watch them lose their heads with the panelists? Like to watch them all lose their heads.
Not really.
And Morgan is better at so. Morgan's next big project.
My next big project?
Your big project that would be hopefully about a year and a half out.
Yeah, so my previous big project was Mystic Paths, which is a significant mechanical expansion, and along those lines, the next one will be called Magic Deeper Secrets.
Yes.
And the items in it, I will promise, are more spells, including high circle spells, more knacks, including knacks for high circle talents and high circle ranks, bringing back named spells and introducing 2 other types of enchanting, including wards, and one I won't talk about yet. There may be other contents in the book, but I don't want to make any promises.
All items are subject to change with no notice whatsoever.
I just want onion wood.
You just want
Onions and puzzles.
I'm with you. Maybe he was already
That's not a healthy thing to want.
So you guys are probably excited about that, right?
Yes.
You see, I know one of the things that like I'm super excited about, but that should be part of that. But I believe it's a secret part of that.
Yes.
That's part of the not promised part of that you're really excited about.
Secret part is compassion. You get the ball.
I thought I already had it.
I'm telling Sarah.
It'd be revenge for killing her sword master last.
You killed her sword master?
Technically, it was an Eopan magician casting spirit dart.
Oops, don't be mean. I like her.
Well, that's fine. I like her too.
This is recorded. I should hope so.
She might listen to this. We're setting that part. All right. So, questions, comments from the gallery? Yes, sir.
This may have been covered in character generator resurfacing.
The character generator.
Yes-ish. There is one that is being worked on. I know that Lars Gottlieb, who did the second step, is working on a 4th edition update for it, but it is slow going, and he's just kind of doing it on his own, and when it's done, it's done.
I think this falls under it's not an official thing, that is something that a fan is doing, and we appreciate when fans do things, especially when it's outside of our technical abilities and outside of our bandwidth at the moment.
Yeah, it may take a while.
Well, if you're floppy like the original.
Oh my god, that would be awesome. But we do that.
No.
Like, all of you gotta go back and get the Wayback Machine to put it in. It's fine.
We can just give them floppies and tell them it's on it, and they'll never know the difference.
So we're going to buy a bunch of floppy disks, and we're going to get label ones, we're going to put that on there, we're going to sell those for $5 a piece. I'll buy that, we promise, it's on there. If you have technical difficulties, send it
compatible with Windows
Rusty.
3.1. Compatible with Windows 3.1.
But only if it's running AWOL at the same time.
Do we want to tease Carl's? I will give a very, very brief, like, enigmatic
See, my tease would be Barsave is awesome, but
Barsave is awesome, but there are parts outside of Barsave that are awesome as well. And Carl's next big project is one of those.
It involves a new name giver, but that's not new. See? You didn't port that name giver. Oh, that wasn't really cool, was it?
New, yeah.
You didn't port that because it's not there yet. As soon as the book happens, it's there. But it's not new. That wasn't true.
So,
I'm bad at this.
you know, but broadly speaking, I've always kind of wanted to strike a balance between revisiting the well of material from previous editions and updating that and doing new stuff. Because one of the things that happened with 3rd edition, reprinted a lot of stuff, just kind of updating the mechanics, and didn't do a lot of news. They had the process book, I think was the only, and the cafe stuff.
Yeah.
Which I always forget because I actually don't own them in hard copy. And
Even then, Kratos was still technically an update from Classic.
That's true, but anyway.
Ardania's Revenge and the Shards were all introduced in Classic.
But the design, like, I know as a longtime fan myself, I didn't want to see in the player's guide another version of the essays from Adepts. That's why those aren't in there. They also take up a lot of space. But,
and I think that you guys want to see new stuff.
But we've also got a lot of people who are coming in new, whether new to 4th edition or so forth.
Just new to Earthdawn.
Or new to Earthdawn in general, who...
And they should not be forced to go through every used bookstore looking for first ed material.
Well, they could buy it in electronic format from our convenient web shop.
Where's that located, Josh?
It is located at www.fasagame.com/catalog.
Hey!
Good work. www.com.
Sorry, I'm old.
Your 90s is showing.
Well, yeah.
HTTP : AOL keyword FASA.
Or if you prefer drive-through RPG, they have them as well, but we don't make as much money off of those. So
That's true. We like it if you come to.
But we understand the convenience of having all of your electronic stuff in one place. I do at least. I don't know about Andi.
Andi knows about money and bottom lines and being a freelancers. It's crazy.
But there are some things from earlier books that we may revisit, and one of those is Carl's project.
Well, see, we're not revisiting. You see, you guys may have noticed, because it sounds like some of you may have read some of the books. Joe, who wrote that book, the in-character Joe, who wrote the book, right? Maybe he didn't get everything right. Maybe what Joe's opinion of it is not everybody else's opinion of a certain area or place, right? So, I don't know, maybe Joe was stupid or he was drunk that day. Who knows what Joe wrote? So sometimes things have to be clarified by,
was not given enough space to provide the detail. Yeah. So.
Who knows? Maybe he got all of his information from Trunks of the Bar. I don't know. So sometimes somebody else has to go through and clarify what really it is.
Update things a little bit for the timeline, but also take that opportunity to maybe change the angle of approach on a thing to kind of put it more in line and resolve some of the issues that might have existed in that product.
Another question. You guys want to see stuff?
Nothing against the phenomenal work of Robin Moss, but that is the last I will say of that.
He's getting the eyeball. That's what. You guys want to see stuff from outside of First Aid, right?
What was the feeling for those of you who have been looked through it of Elven Nations? Because that was like our first real outside.
Yeah. Did you guys like Elven Nations?
Did that?
Yes, you're inside.
Well.
Okay, has anybody read Elven Nations yet?
Okay.
Thanks for picking it up.
We're picking it up, and now spend all your time reading it. Screw the rest of GenCon and sit there.
Someone's going to try home.
I will say this. I'm sure the kid now. Go get that lift thing. There we go. There you go.
I don't think a Lyft driver would be happy to drive me back to.
They might. It depends if they make a lot of money. Are you paying for hotels too? They might. Don't judge.
This is their life.
So we really love it. I will say that the feedback I've gotten from people in the community has been very positive towards it. So I'm hoping that you guys find it also as good as everyone else is.
And not just Elven Nations, but like everything in general.
Everything. Well, Elven Nations as an example of us moving outside of the same thing that's been in the first other editions.
Right.
One of the other ones that does move outside, which has been hinted at. Did you guys play any Earthdawn games this weekend so far? Did you look up? You did? Did you search for FASA or Earthdawn? How'd you?
I think you did it by system.
By system? Okay. Did you see one marked Orencia, don't drink the water?
Yeah. As I concentrate on the ones that fit in my time schedule that I open.
Hint. I just hinted. Anybody know what that actually would refer to?
We get to read.
Now they're all going to have to Google it later.
We could just tell them.
No, they have to Google it later. You guys want us to just tell you?
We told you she was mean.
Yeah, so mean.
You guys wanted to Google it.
Make us do homework.
No? Where's Varsay? Give or take. Ukrainish, right? So if you go from the Ukraine and you go really far west, right before you fall off into the water, you hit
above. Go up a little bit.
Go a little bit.
Go.
Not that far.
On Holland's so bad that.
Well, no, Holland is on the coast.
Spain adjacent.
Connected to Spain. Hey! Say it louder.
Say it loud, say it proud. Speak up.
I can hear you. We're old and deaf. What?
Basically an area that was just kind of briefly mentioned in the original Theron Empire source book, but never really had much information written about it. And now there is stuff being written about it. And that is all I will say.
I love the stuff. Yay. Yes, sir.
With the Elven Nation, since I just picked it up, did you mention anything about Bloodwood, or is there possibly coming?
There is about 100 pages of just Bloodwood stuff in that book. There's 50 pages on Bloodwood itself, the state it's in. There's 50-page section on each of the 5 major right-nows in the book. So all the existing stuff in Bloodwood, it got a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of updates, some new stuff got incorporated into that. I also wrote one of the Legends of Barsave. The players in the campaign go to the Bloodwood. So some of the characters I created for that module ended up in that source book.
And then what else is in that book?
Also in that book is the Western Kingdoms, with a highlight, of course, on Seriatha and where that queen has come from. And then also Carl, who is the one working on the other, the top secret source book.
Well, the not quite top secret.
So he was the one who did Shosara, which is the far to the north, capitalist elves, basically. It's pretty cool.
They're the merchant elves that Alashia kicked out of Bloodwood before the Scourge, and they just said, we're going to go make our own elven kingdom.
Yeah, we're going to make our elven.
Everything is better with hookers and blackjack.
Except without the actual hookers and blackjack.
And there's also an expansion of the wastes out in the Western Kingdoms as well.
Yes.
So they're a little bit more detailed. We've discussed and come up with some stuff that you guys won't know about from reading the book, but there are plans.
It's like there's a plan or something.
There's a plan, and we'll be touching more on that in another future down the line product that I'm definitely not allowed to talk
There
about.
always seem to be sections that were always overlooked, and it's like, you go here, well, just got to go over that.
There is an effort.
The reason with this one is that, one, you guys know that, those of you who are long-term and doing this, that the timeline marches forward, right? That's actually, I think, one of the things that makes this such a fabulous and wonderful world and product is that time does move forward. There's a history and there's things that come and happen and things like that, right?
And sometimes you skip 7 years.
Sometimes you skip 7 years. But that gives you a lovely world to play in.
Yes.
So in certain respects, things have to be kind of, yes, these are these things, and we're updating it to get everything back up into the current because you need to do that before you move forward. Right?
Yeah.
So one of the things with that one, of course, was the Western Kingdoms have been skipped over pretty much blink over there. Nobody talks about it. And Shoshara's in the same vein. It's kind of a
referred to but never really explored.
Right.
And
but really neat places that should be explored.
And we worked quite a bit with our art director. We have a lot of really good maps in that Elven Nations book that really tries to show this is Barsave and the Wastes and the Western Kingdoms and how it all fits together, and try to make it feel less like you have to only be in one or the other. Like these are how they interact with each other.
Which I think it's a great book. I really, really like that one. So I hope you guys all do too.
I do. I was very happy with the way that came out.
Thanks, Josh.
You're welcome.
First time we're hearing of it.
Yes.
People who have gotten enough drinks in you have heard
you guys know the history of stuff, and it's like, this guy did this guy did this, and you know the whole history. I love the history and the background part of this, and I love that's what it's always been part of it. It's kind of what
lore.
Lore is kind of. It's like, you're reading through it, and I love it. Like he was saying the sayings, and also, like 5 pages of the guys writing. I'm like, well, that's kind of a neat perspective. Okay, and then you just keep going. It's like something to fill in. And I've always liked the diversity, which a lot of times there weren't. You were stuck in Thrall, you were stuck in Haven, you were stuck in Trevar. I mean, there was no in between.
And there's a huge wide world out there.
Yeah.
I was talking with somebody, and no promises, especially as far as timelines and things like that. But I mean, think about things like half of Australia is poisonous as it is right now, and that's without magic, and that's in a modern time period, right? Imagine Earthdawn in Australia. Aztecs and blood magic. It's not on board. But think about it, I mean, there's an entire world out there that hasn't gotten as much airplay that we could explore. And I know that the team, not that we are leaving Barsave alone in the dark in a room, that's not at all the plan, but we are hopefully going to see some of these other places and learn more about them as we do.
So just like my puzzle pieces all there, so you know when you put the map together, it's like there's such a year that's missing, and such a year that was missing, and like I just want all my pieces.
Can I tease a little bit about I've got so many projects in mind. Project number,
an actual book?
The one that's an actual book, yes. Can I mention that? My next big project that with Josh. Yeah, again, no timelines. My next big project, because I did mention this in Poland, so.
Yeah, I'm letting you all know, Josh and timelines, sometimes you think.
Well, because I get other stuff like, oh, we did promise an adventure.
No, me on that.
I promised. I promised, and everybody except one guy forgot. And
now that somebody remembered and it got brought to attention,
I have to write an adventure.
Yes.
So in the distant future of the year 2000,
only we're back in this 1990s.
The next big book that I will hopefully usher through to completion is a book focused on Yoruba, which is a city that got a pretty nice write-up in the original Serpent River book, but I have always felt that needed a little bit more fleshing out, and anybody who played in any of my games might have gotten a little bit of a vibe of the sort of thing that I'm going for with the city. Don't roll your eyes back there, I see you. But part of that is it's not just going to be Yoruba, it's Yoruba and the Aras coast. And starting to fill in some of because there's actually a decent chunk of space between Barsave and Indriza, which is sort of the province to India equivalent. But there's a big chunk of empty space between there, and the people across the Aras Sea, which were hinted at the Serpent River Storybrook. And so, kind of looking at least teasing into what might be in some of those areas close to Barsave, and but not really explored yet.
Does that help?
Yes.
Does anybody have a source book they really want to see that we haven't mentioned yet?
Something that somebody wants.
Sky Point.
It's on the wish list. I will say that much.
It is
because I nuked it when I updated the timeline. It is definitely a place that has to be revisited, and I've got Morgan and I have talked about sort of at least broadly what's kind of going on there. It's on the wish list, and it is, unless somebody else gets to it first, it's probably on my list right after Yoruba, which means
we'll be
someday if somebody comes along and wants to write it, I will help oversee and make sure that things are going on. But anyway.
So, any other questions?
Yeah, we're at 10 minutes out. So
as you kind of look at, you kind of hinted here and there projects further on, but as you kind of look at how you're doing this full developments, how long do you see this current edition lasting? If you had to put it's going to be this many books, what's the ballpark there?
We don't have any for that right now.
I will tell you that as of right now, I have pretty much no interest in hearing about it at any time for quite a while. Please know, so we're talking about all these different books and things that we want to see. And from what I've gotten back from the public, people like 4th edition. We like the mechanics of it. We like how it's rolling. At least that's what I'm being told. If somebody has something different, there's some tell me. So I don't see any reason to alter that. This is not going to be like other places where, hey, now next year we change it. No, that is not happening anytime soon. There's a lot of areas and stories that we have not explored in this edition that we really want to. I think that the entire team, you guys really want to, right?
Edition changes suck.
You're
It's not a lot of fun. So
I can't give you a number of books or a number of years. I can tell you that as far as I know, there is absolutely no plans on that anywhere in the next. I would say
certainly not before the 30th anniversary.
Yeah. I will just be honest with you. I think that like the next 4 or 5 years, we already have ideas and things planned out. So I wouldn't think that that's happening anytime. Any last comments from anybody up on the table? Or
thank you for coming. Thank you for being fans. Thank you for your support. I love coming to shows like this, and I love interacting with people online and hearing the positive feedback and the stories, the table stories and stuff that goes on. Because, and you know, the rest of the team and everybody can sort of back up on this. Working on this stuff can sometimes be a little bit like, you know, work in a, well, I mean, yes, it's work, but in a sort of vacuum, you know, not kind of slaving away.
Everybody is very much apart. Like for the most part, most of us are very far from each other. And if it wasn't for the occasionally some fans saying, "Oh gosh, I'm really interested," it can feel like you're all alone in a room, putting words out that nobody sees. And
like some mornings when you wake up and he's like, I spent 8 hours yesterday thinking about elven politics. That was a good life choice. Yeah.
That is a good life choice. But without somebody telling you it. Morgan?
Yeah, I guess thank you all for being here. I've extended the offer online to everyone, but it always stands if you need custom content, get in touch with me. I'm not really spend a lot of time out there, but I'm not hard to find. So I've done it before, I'll do it again. Disciplines, threat items, creatures, you know, just let me know if you want anything.
Some wish list.
Sure.
Would you believe that we take what you guys tell us very seriously and add those things to our wish list and things like that? Yeah.
But like somebody will have an adventure that they're working on and come to him and say, hey, I'm looking for something that does this.
Morgan helped with my core construct for my game for this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and he's really sweet about it.
Someone wanted Bodyguard from 2nd edition updated for their friend's birthday.
Oh.
So.
Tiffany?
Awesome.
I want to thank everybody for being patient with us. I'm the one that's in the booth every year, and it was a long haul getting from Player's Guide to where we are now. Mm-hmm. And you were all very patient, and it was really great. And everybody came around every year like, when's the next thing? When's the next thing? And it's good to hear, but it's also good when you're told it's not ready yet because we want to make it the best product we can put out. I hope you will continue to be patient with us going forward.
Obviously, I want to thank all the fans, but I do want to thank the fans that supported the Living campaign, the Legends of Barsave. They've been coming out to multiple conventions consistently year to year. It's been 4 years since we've been running that series. It's taken on a life. It's been out there in the marketplace. Everyone seems to enjoy it. We have a very dedicated core group of people that have played all the adventures. They want more. They want more. They've even gone out and pulled in players to empty tables just so that we could run them and expose other people to the game. So
we have a lot of cultists.
Without the Legends of Barsave series, myself.
Yes, Questors. Sorry, Questors.
Without that series, I would not be up here at this table. I would not have gotten in. I would not have written the Elven Nations book. So that's where that was my end.
Yeah, thanks to all you guys. Thanks for supporting our stuff. I always love meeting you, everyone. I spend all my time running tables, not at the booth, but always happy to meet Earthdawn fans. It's great.
My last shameless plug will be a group one. Check out the Legends of Earthdawn podcast. If you're familiar with some of the Shadowcaster Network personalities, we've got really cool audio technician guy running the game, cleaning it up, posting the podcast. One of the players is Josh Harrison, who has turned into the brains of the outfit somehow.
That's not
Troll.
That's Troll Needlemancer.
Yeah. So
trolls are awesome.
The trolls are fine. So check out the Legends of Earthdawn podcast.
And we've got another player who has a badass windling cavalry.
Dangerous windling with embers.
Before I get us all out of this room, before they kick us, I have one more thing, two more things. One, again, I want to thank you guys. Again, you guys are the absolute best fandom I have ever seen, ever. You guys are patient, you were kind, you were sweet, and you're still backing us, and it is highly appreciated. The other is if anybody wants to take a picture with Sunny before they leave, feel free, but put it on any of the social medias, please hashtag Earthdawn so that I can find them and see them, and it helps. Believe it or not, guys, that actually helps keep our name out so I get to stop talking about the we're not actually dead. Ross, I haven't seen this shit yet. I'm so dead later.
Oh, for those listening to the audiobook version of this, the back of her shirt reads, "The reports of my death are greatly exaggerated. Mark Twain and FASA."
So the more you mention that we still exist, the nicer it is that I don't have to explain it. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stuff here.
Honestly, literally.